All right, guys. Tony, what's up, man? It's so for anybody looking right now, this is my first time meeting Tony, besides fucking shooting DMs like I'm some kind of fangirl and shit. So, guys, if you don't know Tony, you're gonna fucking know him. If you haven't heard about Fusion, you're gonna know about it. So I wanted to bring Tony on to give his story because what he's creating is something very unique. He's creating places for different people from different communities, different fitness goals, so forth, come together and fucking have a great time, man. So Tony, man, look, man, just shoot it away, bro, because I know you have a very good story, man.
What would
So
you like to know? Where would you like me to start?
so look, we know where we are here, but how do we get here, right? And for those listening in, guys, look, the moral of the story is just fucking consistency. You keep doing things non-stop until you hit, and then you keep going and going and going. But Tony, man, how'd you start out, man? Because I'm sure you started out somewhere within the fitness world, and how did it start moving for you?
I mean, I started off just like anyone in the fitness industry starts off. I start off at LA Fitness.
I used to be a fucking trainer back in the day there too, man. Oh my god.
Yeah, so I mean, growing up, I was very skinny. I was a little Indian kid in an all-black high school. I used to get picked on all the time. I used to
Hmm.
get beat up all the time. I used to get in fights all the time. So, I wanted to increase my ability to be able to defend myself. I wanted to be someone that no one wanted to fuck with. You grew up in West Philadelphia, you want to be the
Yes.
hardest on the block. So when I was 15 years old, right when I started high school, like freshman year, I started lifting and I fell in love with it. I still remember the first time I walked in. I remember the smell. I remember how it looked. It was a small gym in West Philly called Fit Gym. It still exists to this day. It was right across the street from my house. So every day after school, I would go there and I would not just work out, but it was a community. And that was like, almost 20 years ago.
Right.
Um, Not almost. That shit was wow. It's crazy. It's like literally 20 years ago, 19 years ago, right?
That
Where
you
this
now,
time
now,
go,
now you feel older. Yeah, don't ever say
right?
stuff like that. That makes you fucking
Yeah,
wake up and feel older.
yeah. Like it's funny because growing up, when you used to hear the old heads, the OGs talk about music, they say, "Oh, back in my day, they don't make music like they used to." Now we say the same thing about music from the 2000s
Yeah,
and
yeah, bro.
10s.
I listen, man. I prevent myself from saying that because every time I'm about to say something like that, it reminds me of back when
Yep,
my
as you
parent,
were
and I'm
growing
just
up.
like, yeah, I'm not saying it. I'm not saying it.
Yeah, like it's crazy when like the songs that we used to listen to as we grew up, now they're considered classics. I'm like, wow, what the fuck?
Hmm.
So, I did that for 4 years. In senior year, one of my friends, I still remember our walk. I still remember that talk. We were walking down the street and he's like, hey, man, you know what we can do? We can be personal trainers. We can make $60 an hour. I said, $60 an hour? That's fucking insane. You can tell me that I can make $60 an hour training? They're like, yeah. So they're like, yeah, there's this place called LA Fitness is hiring. We should go apply. So I was like, all right, let's go apply. Mind you, at the time, minimum wage is $5 or
Right.
5.50. So like $60 is, 12, 15 times what the average,
Yes.
living wages at the time. So we went and applied. Long story short, I was very well spoken, just because I had to be, just because of the neighborhood I grew up in. Um, I wound up getting the job. For the first 9 months that I worked at LA Fitness, I honestly didn't even know what my job was. I would literally just go every day, hang out, lift, talk to my friends, have a shake, and just shoot the shit. And one day I came back. It was a pivotal point in my life. There was about 8 of us in the sales team. I don't know what it is. You can call it fate, you can call it God, you call it the universe. Everybody was fired except for me. I don't know why they kept me because I sucked just as bad as everyone else. Long story short, LA Fitness was making cutbacks. We wound up getting a new general manager. My general manager, Ken, left at the time. And we got a new guy. The guy, his name was Mike. I'm still friends with him to this day. He was actually best friends with the number one sales guy in the entire country. His name was Nolan. And, this guy was like 23, 24 years old. I always heard about him because he was the best in the country. Out of like 50,000 employees, he was the one. He was
Yeah.
number one in the whole country. So it was cool that I got to meet his best friend. And then he told me his story, his origin story. One day we went to a sales meeting. And for the first year that I worked there, I didn't even know we had sales meetings. My last boss didn't even take me. Went to the sales meeting. There was the VP of LA Fitness. There was like 50 different assistant managers, sales managers from all over the region that came. And they talked about personal development. They talked about self-help books. They talked about learning. They talked about learning from other people. Everyone there that day was on another planet. They're just zoned out. Me, I'm locked in because I hear guys are making $60,000, $80,000, $100,000. Bro, I'm 18 years old. I'm still in high school. I'm like, there's no fucking way that they're making this kind of money. We look at the numbers, we look at the charts. I'm like, holy shit, it's true. That day, I went to Barnes and Nobles. I had maybe $200 to my name. I said, Mike, drive me to Barnes and Nobles. We go to Barnes and Nobles. I said, call your boy Nolan, ask him what books I need to buy. And then and a lot of times going up through high school, I barely graduated high school. I barely graduated college. And I never could sit there and read a book. It's just not my thing. I'm not a visual learner. I'm an audio learner. So I never knew that. So like, there's more than one way for you to do anything you want in life. So if the teachers tell you you're dumb, no, it's not that you're dumb. It's just you're uninterested in what they're teaching. See, the biggest issue is a lot of people look at education as a time in life. Instead, you need to look at education as a way of life. The main reason most people, they don't like learning is because they're learning about shit they're not interested in.
Yes.
You know, and there's an old Chinese proverb, right? It goes like this: if I hear, I forget. If I see, I remember. But if I do, I understand. A lot of the things you're hearing in school, you're going to forget it because you're never going to see it in the real world. It doesn't apply to you. And a lot of it, you're not going to ever apply unless it's in the field that you want to be in. So most of it is a waste of your time. So once I actually got a hold of these sales books, because remember, I was in sales. So when I sat there, read the sales book, it literally hit home for me because I went and took it and applied it in the real world. I heard it, I saw it on the gym floor, and then I applied it. Bro, I took those audiobooks and I took that $100 investment. I became #1 in the entire country in 90 fucking days. Bro, I was in high school. I was bringing in $5,000 every 2 weeks in commission.
That's real good, man.
It doesn't sound like a lot of money, bro.
No, that's extremely impressive.
16 years ago, 18-year-old kid making fucking 10 G's a month legally working, bro, it was unheard of. And so I fell in love with it. I did that for like 6 months at LA. Then I heard about a new company opening up called Retro Fitness. This is only when they had like 3-4 locations. Went and worked at Retro. I worked at Retro in North Wales, in Belmar, New Jersey, and Franklin Mills. Did that for about a year. But one of the things that I strive to do with my company is show people that there's value to them. And what I mean by that is I show them that they're more than just a number. They're a part of a family. They're part of something bigger. We're doing something together. The most valuable asset in any organization is the people. I never felt valued at LA Fitness. I never felt valued at Retro. Trust me, they're great companies. They have great systems. They make money, but I didn't feel valued, which is why I left.
Yeah.
And I wanted to start my own business. So, I mean, I face pretty much the same issue any person face when they're trying to open a business. Forget a gym, just a business in general. Number one, you need a business plan. Number two, you need 50, 60, 100,000 bucks, depending on what you're trying to open. Number three, you gotta be willing to, you know, take a risk. Number four, you need money down, not just for your inventory and your build out, but also for rent, you know, for your burn rate. So I needed about 100 grand. I was 20 years old. I didn't really have a lot of money, but in life, it's not what you don't have that stops you. It's what you think you need. It's not who you're not, it's who you think you're not. A lot of people, the main thing that stops them is they feel that there's one linear road to success. You and I both know there's more than one road to success, right? There's more than one way to open a supplement store. There's more than one route to your house, right? Are there better routes? Yes. Are there faster routes? Yes. Are there more scenic routes? Yes. So there's more than one route to your house. So there's more than one route to your destination. So if you want to open a business, you can't look at it from a linear perspective. You have to think of, there's infinite ways to do this, is which way best fits me. Well, I didn't have the money. I didn't have the resources. I didn't have a business plan. I was just some kid with a shit ton of experience. I was good on my feet. I was good at talking to people. I was good at generating sales. So I first started looking at spaces, you know, a 2,000-3,000 square foot studio would cost me $3,000-4,000 a month. I needed first, last, security, boom, 12 grand down. And then you got to pay gas, water, electric, insurance, boom, that's another, you know, 2-3 grand a month. And then on top of that, you gotta fit it out. You need like 50 fucking grand to build the gym, right? Once it's built, that's the first battle. The second battle is you're battling against other studios and big box gyms whose marketing budget is bigger than your entire fucking rent roll,
Yeah.
okay, and everything your business generates. So it's an uphill battle, and then once you get to the top of the mountain, you realize you've only, hit the first fucking barrier. That there's so many more to go. So I said, there's got to be a better way. So that's where it goes back to listening to the audiobooks about like the founders of Home Depot. It's called Built from Scratch. Onward from Howard Schultz and how he built Starbucks. The books about Steve Jobs. All these books that I used to listen to, I gathered up their past, I drew from their experience, and now I invested it into my future. I studied Phil Knight and how he built Nike. I studied Kevin Plank, how he built Under Armour. I studied every great business we try to use on a day-to-day basis. I went back to the origin to see how they did it, and I read the books on how they were built. And so I said, well, there's more than one way to do this, because now I was at least knowledgeable enough to know how not to do it. Because there's more than one way to do it. There's more than one way to get in shape. There's more than one type of diet that works.
Yep.
It's what fits best for your lifestyle. So then I took all this information that I have absorbed over the years and I got ready. So I was like, well, I don't want to open a studio because it's going to cost me too much money and it's a never ending battle because I'm battling against other gyms. I was like, well, because I always had a goal of opening a big box gym. So in order for me to open a big box gym, I looked at, well, what do you need? So I looked at Gold's Gym. I looked at Powerhouse. Every gym, you needed a minimum of $1 million in liquidity, right? Yeah. Anywhere from 700,000 to $1 million. So let's just call it $1 million. You need an X amount of dollars in assets. You needed this, that, and the third. But then I read the rules and regulations of all the franchises. They all essentially got a business in a box. They could run it how they want, but it was a business in a box. So I said, well, if it's a business in a box and each one's individually owned and operated, that was the key words, individually owned and operated. If they're allowed to operate how they want, not all these gym owners are capitalizing on personal training. Personal training at the time, just so you understand, when I worked at LA, I was selling $60,000 to $80,000 worth of personal training per month.
Yeah.
$80 a session. So I wasn't selling 5, 10, 15 sessions. I was selling 48 packs, 96 packs, 144 sessions at a time. They're signing 12-month contracts. It was a consistent EFT draft. So it was a real great business model. I said, well, what if I cold called these gyms, found a gym that was willing to allow me to pay the rent that will pay for an empty space, and I can run my business inside their business, right? So then I started cold calling every gym within like 100-mile radius. Because if one gym said yes, all I needed was one yes. Everyone could tell me to fuck up. All I needed was one yes. One gym wound up saying yes. It was a Snap Fitness in Newcastle, Delaware. Mm-hmm. So me and my boy, we came up with $10,000. I came up with 5. He came up with 5. We moved to Newcastle, Delaware. We got a small little house there, and within 6 months, so we offered. It was a Snap Fitness. It was 4,000 square feet, had 500 members. The guy spent $250,000 on the build out. He had 700-800 members already. I didn't have to worry about attracting members. There was already fish in the pond. Now all I have to do is fish in the pond, right? So I got a $250,000 gym because I didn't want the memberships. I wanted the training. So within 6 months, bro, I made my first $110,000. I was 21 years old. Next year, we grow to 3 locations: Newark, Delaware, Newcastle, Delaware, and Whippany, New Jersey. We do $350,000. Following year, we grow to $550,000. And we're fucking crushing it. But you also have to be very careful. And when you're young, you don't know what you don't know. So when I had partnered with my business partner at the time, we didn't have an operating agreement. We didn't put things into place like whose responsibility is what. We're best friends growing up. It was just like, let's just grab the bulls by the horn and build this shit. Mm-hmm. Well, me and him, we had a falling out. He wasn't doing his part, and I felt like I was, carrying the team. So I was like, look, moving forward, I'm gonna build all the new locations on my own until you get your shit together, because I'm doing all the work, you're getting all the benefits, you're not doing your part. And he kind of took that personally. So long story short, he took his equity out. Everything we're making at the time, we're dumping it back in. So we're trying to grow the business. So long story short, Jay takes his money and he says, "Fuck you, peace out." He felt betrayed. Really, at the end of the day, I was trying to give him
motivate him to go back in.
Like, get it together.
Yeah.
It's not that I wanted to take his equity. I feel like the world, there's so much abundance in the world that there's enough for all of us. But he took it the wrong way. Long story short, well, when he cleared out the account, I couldn't make payroll. I couldn't pay the bills. I couldn't pay shit. But one thing that I always believe is life is a game of chess, not checkers. I'm always thinking 5 moves ahead. So when those locations crumbled, I was already cold calling other gyms. Even though things are great, we're making $60,000, $70,000 a month. I was already cold calling other gyms. I already had other business deals in play. Those crumbled. I got a new location that was Gold Gym in Allentown, Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
I lived in North Jersey at the time. So I moved back home. I sleep on my parents' couch. And you're probably wondering, well, Tom, why'd you get an apartment? I wanted to hit rock bottom because I
Yeah, yeah,
believe that if you hit rock bottom, it has a firm foundation to build something great. So literally for 2 years, even though we were making money after I restarted, I slept on my parents' couch because I wanted to feel a level of uncomfortability where I never wanted to be back there again. So the second time I built it, here's the best part. Every time you fail, see, a lot of people, they don't want to fail. The problem with not wanting to fail is how do you get good at it unless you fail? Like that's saying, like that's if you want to be a millionaire, right? That's equivalent to saying you want to be in the NBA, but you don't want to miss any shots. It's impossible. You're never going to get good at the game unless you
yeah.
shoot. Okay, so I knew that failure was a part of success. And every time you start over, you're not starting over. You're not starting from scratch. You're starting with experience. So guess what? The second time I built the company, first time it took me 10 grand, right? Second time started for $700. I incorporated the business. So Fusion as it stands today was built with $700. So I incorporated the business. Chris Krieger, still friends to this day. He owned Gold Gym Allentown, Whitehall, and a bunch of them in Central PA. I, I told him, I was like, look, I want to start this business. Here's my track record. Here's what I've done. Here's what's happened. You'd be surprised how many people will want to back you up as long as you tell the truth. So I told him the truth. I'm like, look, here's what happened. Here's who I am. Here's what I've done. Here's what I can do for you in your club. At the time, his gym's making dick. They're making like 40 grand a year gross in sales. I came in, I was like, look, I'll give you $60,000 net profit. I'll give it to you in rent, and you don't have to worry about shit. What do you think he said? He said, yeah, of course. I got him to give me the first month and a half rent free. So
Yep.
I paid nothing up front. I went in, did what I do. I walked the floor, I talked to members, I sold training, I hired trainers. Within literally 6 months, we did $300,000. Following year, we did $500,000. By now, I'm 25 years old, and I'm like, look, I want to build a gym. So my goal was to build a gym, and I had about $50,000 saved at the time. And then one of my boys, Jason, he came up with another 50 grand. And that's not enough to open a gym. You know
Right.
that, and I know
Yep.
that. A
Mm-hmm.
10,000 square foot gym, 100 grand, bro, that's going to pay for your fucking
That's
flooring,
nothing. That's
maybe
nothing.
some lockers, right?
Yeah, that's nothing.
So, but again, it's not what you don't have, it's what you think you need. You think you need $1 million. You think you need 500 grand. You don't. Let me give you the game, right? So I went online. I started looking for spaces, right? And I just started looking for spaces. I figured that once I found a space, I would put other pieces of the puzzle together,
Mm-hmm.
right? And God works in mysterious ways, man. I'm telling you, God gives those who work for themselves. God gives those who don't give up on themselves and have big dreams. So what I did was I looked at like 10 different spaces. And you're probably wondering, well, Tone, how are you going to pay for the space? You guys know what Tough Mudder is. You guys know what Spartan Race is. That company was started with literally $10,000, okay, on credit cards. And that company now generates $500 million. Here's the fucking funny part. I read an article about them in Muscular Development, right? About how much money that they were generating. They were doing like at the time like $70 million a year. And I found the story very intriguing because when they started the company, they started as a college project. Tough Mudder, right? And they did it as a senior project, as a business plan. It did really well. With the guys, when they graduated, they were like, yo, let's start a business. Let's do this. Like, we can really do this. We can kill it. And so they looked all over the country for spaces to do this Tough Mudder race. And they landed in fucking Allentown, Pennsylvania. They put $8,000 down on the ski slope to rent it out for the weekend, right? Because remember, no one's using it on the
Yeah.
weekend
Yeah.
in the middle of the fucking summer. They built it 1 year out. They took the other 2 grand that they had and they just did a marketing campaign. And it was like, join now for $50 when the race was $100. Well, bro, they signed up 20,000 fucking people for this race. Took that money, built the course. The rest is fucking history. I said, damn, that's fucking crazy. I can do that too, right? So my goal was always to try to build the best gym possible, the best experience possible. I wanted to make fitness convenient and affordable as fast food is. So my goal was to make a really cheap, affordable gym. Was a no-brainer. So my first 5 locations, for perspective, our gym right now is $69 a month for one month.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, at the time it was $5 a month. Now you're probably wondering, well, Tony, how'd you make any fucking money?
The training. It was through the training.
One, the training, but two, the model already existed. Why? Planet Fitness was $10 a month.
Correct.
They had hundreds of locations. So
I know
the
what you
model
did.
works.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was $5 a month, right? And we had a $69 annual fee. $69 times 5 a month over 12 months is $129. Planet Fitness was $10 a month for 12 months is $120. Well, if they can make it work, I can make it work. Visually, looking at it, I'm cheaper, but I'm actually $9 more expensive. And I'm getting half the money up front because you're paying an annual fee to join. Mm-hmm. So I was like, that's the business model. That's the plan. I'm going to find a fucking space. I'm going to sell the shit out of memberships, maybe 3,000 to 4,000. Mind you, already had experience working at Planet for 2 years.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna drop their memberships because it's only $5. Why the fuck would I drop it?
Exactly. So I already had experience doing pre-sales for Planet. I was like, oh, all I gotta do is find a great space, put the money down, start construction. And as people join, they're gonna pay that annual fee to join. That will give me the money to continue the construction. Make sense?
Yes.
So I started looking for 10 spaces. So even if you don't know how to make your goals and dreams come true, bro, guys, start fucking working on it, and you're gonna figure out the rest as you go. So as I went down that route, one day, and you guys have probably heard this saying, right? Like 90% of success happens if you just show up.
Right.
So I'm grinding it out. I'm still fucking working, looking for spaces, and I'm literally sitting at the gym. Don't feel like being there that day. It's fucking raining. I wasn't gonna go in, but I was like, look, you gotta go every day. So for 7 days a week, I'm just working. I'm sitting in the office, and a letter comes in, a gift from God. Letter comes in, goes to the manager. Manager looks at it because it was a big FedEx envelope. He looks at it, just throws it in the floor. He throws it in the trash. I go, hey, bro, what was that? He goes, oh, some gym closing. You get it for pennies on the dollar. I said, get the fuck out of here. So I immediately start jumping up and down. I'm like, this is it. This is it. Like, God just sent me the gift. So I immediately call the broker. I drive to that location. I'm walking through the space. I'm like visualizing what the gym's going to look like. The girl's like, hey, I'm sorry, the gym's going to close. You can't, get a tour. I'm like, no, this is going to be my gym. Now, mind you, I had no idea how to get this gym because, like, cool, even if you get the space, I don't have the $500,000 for the equipment. But I feel like I don't provide a way, right? So I call the broker. I tell him my story. I tell him who I am. And that one of the biggest things, guys, if you want to be successful is you got to have salesmanship. I'm very well spoken. I'm very good at talking. I'm very good at sales. And it wasn't a gift from God. It's something that, like my life that I have coming to America, that was God's gift to me. What I do back with it is my gift back to him. So like I have the opportunity. So reading these audiobooks, studying sales, that was because of the hard work that I put in. So I was able to sell this broker on giving me this fucking space. Now, mind you, I'm 24 years old. Okay. I got 50 fucking grand. It's me, again, Biggs Box Gyms, because remember, it's a fully built-out gym that closed. The gym that closed was called Club Metro USA. Mm-hmm. They spent $1.2 million on this build-out. I got this $1.2 million gym for 40 fucking grand.
Oh, my God.
You ever want to see what that gym looked like, just go on Google, type in Fusion Gyms, New Britain, or Fusion Gyms, Doylestown. Wow. Absolutely fucking beautiful. It was only 10,000 square feet. These guys spent $120 per square feet of this building. Beautiful space. So you're probably wondering, well, how did I get $1.5 million gym for 40 grand? Okay. Life is about solving problems. You want to make a lot of fucking money, solve some problems. It's kind of like what my business model is built around now. But even back then, if you can solve problems, you can fucking make a fortune. So what were the problems? Let's see. Well, the guys that own the gym that's closing it, so for those of you that aren't in commercial real estate or have built a massive facility out, you typically get what's called TI. That means tenant improvement allowance. The landlord will help you towards construction. Yes. So let's say your build out is 700 grand, then landlord might give you $500,000 towards it, 350 grand towards it. And then it's not free money. They're going to blend it into the rent. So they're just helping you with the construction, right? So it also looks better on their books because you're paying now a higher rent amount versus a lower rent amount. Even though it's money you're paying back, on the books, it looks better for the landlord.
Yep.
Going through the process, I knew this because remember, I was already looking for spaces. You look at 10 spaces and up, you kind of figure shit out, right? And so I knew that they had to give them a big chunk. So I asked the broker, I said, well, how much did you give these guys for construction? They said 500 grand. I said, well, what's going to happen to that 500 grand? They're like, well, we're probably going to sue them, go after them. I'm like, well, how's that going to end? You're going to sue. The only people that's going to win in that lawsuit is the attorneys.
Yeah,
You're going to pay an attorney to go get the
yeah.
money. They're going to pay an attorney to defend the money. Long story short, you're going to chase them around for a few years. There's so many corporations, LLCs blocking everything. They're going to be protected. You'll probably get some money, but nowhere near the 500,000. Right. Tell you what, why don't you let them go? I'll give you the personal guarantee. And my personal guarantee is stronger than them. Yeah, I have less assets, but the asset that I have is an asset you can't buy. I have experience running multi-million-dollar gyms. That's where my track record and experience came in. I gave them my books. Like, look what I'm doing as a personal fucking trainer. Mind you, I had two locations, Gold's Gym in Allentown and Gold's Gym in Whitehall. I was running the training department. I'm making $600,000 a year from personal training in two facilities with 6 trainers. Imagine what I can do with the gym. So I was like, look, I'll give you the personal guarantee. They're like, okay. And then I'm like, take the equipment from them, okay, for letting them go. They're like, well, it's not our equipment to take. I'm like, I understand that, but hear me out. That equipment that they spent 500 grand is worth 10 cents on the dollar on the wholesale market. Because let's say a wholesaler comes in, you guys have seen it. If you ever try to buy used gym equipment, you go online, there's a lot of different dealers throughout the country. They'll buy equipment and then they resell it. They're going to buy it for 10 cents on the dollar because they got to move it, they got to store it, they got to repackage it, refurbish it, and resell it. So they're going to get 10 cents on the dollar. That 500 grand worth of equipment is worth 50.
Yeah.
Someone's going to buy it for 50, fix it up, sell it, maybe make 250 when it's all said and done. So they're only going to get 50 grand for this equipment. Tell them to walk away. Sign it over to you. You give me this equipment as a part of my lease. You still own it. You own the building. You own everything. And I'm going to give you full asking rent. If you don't release it to me, don't rent it to me, any big box gyms that could be in this neighborhood is already here. All you're going to get is another Joe Blow. They don't have my experience. They don't have my passion. They don't have the purpose behind why they're doing it. They're not going to fucking make it. So either you rent it to me or you wait 6 months to a year and you find somebody that's eventually going to close as well. So long story short, they said, you know what, Tony, you got yourself a deal. $25,000 security deposit, $16,000 for the first month. My first gym I opened for 41 grand. It's $1 million facility for 41 fucking grand. Knowledge pays, bro. And I put that entire deal together. Why? The landlord won. Why? Because they got a very strong tenant, which is what they wanted.
Yeah.
I won because I didn't have to buy shit. I have to build shit. Yeah. Okay. The guys that walked away won because now they don't have to defend themselves against a $500,000 lawsuit. Everybody won. I solved the problem. Within the first 12 months, I make my first $1 million, 25 years old. The gym's only $5 a month. We're fucking kicking ass and taking names, right? Then I was like, well, it worked once. Let's do it again.
Bro, let me stop you real quick. That's a fucking impressive story.
Thank you.
Like, no, I'm being dead serious. Listen, I listen. Like, I really listen. So right now, if the people that are tuning in right now, I hope you guys are realizing what kind of information you're getting, because shit like this will cost you hundreds of dollars at a seminar. So right there, fucking pure wealth of knowledge. So go ahead, bro. Sorry, keep going, man.
Oh man, thousands of dollars worth of knowledge. I've been to seminars. I'm sure you've been to seminars. A lot of times they're just sending you more information. They'll sell you the next package up. Yep. They're not giving you the fucking meat and potatoes. You want to own any business, here's how you fucking do it. Go work in that industry 24 to 36 months. It's your education. Learn the system. Learn about the people, process, and products. Learn how they find their people, develop their people, put their systems in place, figure out the process, and figure out what product sells, how they package it, how they sell it, how they market it. Take that experience, then go look for a business for sale. Yep. See how long it's been for sale. Meet with the owners. Look at the fucking books. If you have any experience and knowledge and background, you'll be able to tell why these people are losing money. Because remember, most people that start a business, you would think they're educated to have business plans. They don't. Most people are shooting from the fucking hip. And a lot of times when they're underwater, they just want to fucking get out. Okay? Yeah. I've bought gyms for literally Nothing. I bought gyms where they gave me money for buying it because they wanted to get out of their lease. You get what I'm saying? So you can find the business, you meet with the landlord, you meet with that tenant, you meet with the person that's selling it. You either get them to sell or finance it, the business to you, and you pay them on a monthly basis where they become the bank. We negotiate the lease, better terms, better conditions. Again, it all goes back to, it is not easy. It's simple, but not easy. Being a bodybuilder is fucking simple. It ain't easy. Being rich is simple, not easy. Being smart is simple, not easy. So the stuff that I'm telling you is very simple, is rudimentary, but it's not easy. Get the fucking experience. Then when you're sitting in front of Joe Schmo, you're going to tell him why he's going to give you his business. You're going to pay little to nothing for it, or he's going to finance it to you. And you have put nothing out of the fucking pocket because you're going to fucking get him out of a bad situation. A lot of times, most people don't know that when you sign a lease, a lot of people, they sign a personal guarantee. That means even if the business doesn't make fucking money, you are not allowed to walk away, or they will take everything from you. They will take your house, your cars, anything and everything they can get their hands on, they're going to take from you. So if you can step in and allow that person to walk in, and here's the thing, people don't sell profitable businesses. I mean, every now and then they do, but if something's making me a couple $100,000 a year and I'm doing dick, I'm not selling that shit, right? So become the solution for the problem and you can find it. That applies to literally anything. Like I did it in the gym industry. You can literally apply it to really anything.
Correct.
So I said, okay, it worked once, it'll work again. So as I was doing it, right, one of my friends said that, hey, listen, man, don't bite off more than you can chew. You should slow down. I said, listen, I'd rather choke on greatness than nibble on mediocrity. Well, choke I did.
Yeah.
Choke I did. So let me tell you a little fun story. So then I opened location 1 goes to location 2. I opened a Fusion Gyms in Runnymede, New Jersey. Okay, the business was for sale for $400,000. I got the guy to sell it to me for $400,000, but he seller financed the whole thing. I didn't put a dollar down. I absorbed the lease. I absorbed the staff. I absorbed everything in the business. And my goal was to pay him an X amount of dollars a month towards his mortgage. Then I did the same thing again in Voorhees, New Jersey. And then I did the same thing again in Center City. We now have 4 locations. I'm 26 years old with 4 fucking gyms that are generating anywhere from $700,000 a year to $1 million a year. But remember, when you're a young entrepreneur, you don't know what you don't know. And every mistake you make, that's why you should move cautiously in the very beginning, because your mistakes can cost you a lot. And I'll explain to you what I mean. Every time I made a mistake, you have to multiply by 4, because I had 4 gyms. So if I made a $10,000 mistake, it cost me $40,000 because I did it 4 times. If I made a $20,000 mistake, well, guess what? I made an $80,000 mistake. There's only so much you're going to come back from. That's number 1. Number 2, hiring great people, the asset of any business is the people. So there's no way I'm going to be able to staff 4 gyms within a year. That's incredible management team, incredible front desk staff. Shit's going to slip through the crack. Then you're going to start depending on other people to do your job, and they're not going to do it as well as you. Last but not least, you can only put out so many fires by yourself. Let's pretend you have 4 businesses and all 4 are on fire. Well, you're not going to be able to put out the fire at all 4. Now that's, not realistically speaking, that's like, that's just me giving as an example. So business is financially on fire. You could only do so much yourself at each location. Remember, I'm great in sales. We're doing 70, 80,000 a month in PT sales, but I could only put out the fires at one location at a time. You see what I'm saying? So long story short, choke on greatness I did. So my gym was only $5 a month. So I couldn't find enough great trainers. I couldn't find enough those people to be able to keep the momentum going. So my first location, we were doing $1 million a year. Then we were doing the second location, we were doing $600,000. Third location, we were doing $400,000. Fourth location, we were doing like fucking $250,000 a year. So as you can see, it only went down. So whenever you find a diamond mine, guys, don't dig a bunch of holes. Dig deep. So okay, I dug 4 holes on my diamond mine versus digging down, right? So if you dig 4 holes, you're going to be exhausted. You're going to come up with nothing, and that's essentially what happened. So I had to make the hard decision. I was like, all right, I got to go back to the drawing board. I'm going to close 2 locations, and I'm going to sell 2 locations. So I closed 2 locations. I took the equipment and I built a fifth location, which is our current location, Grand Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
And then I sold the other two locations, took the money and finished construction because the fifth location was already under construction. So then I went back to the drawing board. I said, well, this can't happen again. I'm standing at Starbucks just for like a little midday pickup, right? To get a little Frappuccino. And there's a fucking line behind me. There's like literally 15 people waiting in line, and there's more coming every minute. Howard Schultz ain't behind that fucking counter working. You know, the CEO, the CFO, none of the executives that were behind the desk working. Why am I working behind the desk? Because they're not coming for that executive. They're coming for
the experience.
The product.
The experience.
So I was like, wow, man, even the way the economy is, even as bad as things are, you know, people are waiting in line, you know, to spend $6 on this sugary drink that costs 50 cents to make. So I was like, well, I want to build a fucking product so great that everyone wants to get in line for it. So as we were closing these gyms down, people were like, Tony, don't close. I'll pay $30 a month. I'll pay $20 a month. I'll pay 40. Because remember, the gym's $5.
Yeah.
So in my head at the time, I'm like, damn, if they're willing to pay this much, maybe they were willing to pay it all this time. I got 3,000 fucking members. If each one paid me $30, I'd be fucking rich.
You'd be good. Yeah, you'd be fucking set.
So I was like, all right, you know what? We're going to do it at this location. So the first location, if you actually look us up, you'll see that I was on the news because when this location was under construction, all the money I had saved for grant, I was spending to keep these other locations open. Well, I couldn't finish construction and people had joined during pre-sale. So we were like 6 months late, 9 months late, a year behind schedule. And people are losing their fucking mind. They're like, give me my sign-up feedback. Couldn't give it back because I had no fucking money, right? So long story short, you know, I finally got the place open. And I was like, well, if people are willing to pay more, maybe they'll pay more now. So I was like, you know what? Let's test it out. We'll tell people we're $20 a month. But for the first 6 months, give us a try. We'll give you 75% off. It'll be just $5 a month. I knew that I could float the business on just the training for so long. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and people are signing up in droves, where we're signing up 200, 300, 400, 500, 600 people a month. So we're slowly getting to that finish line. And it was very, very hard because when I negotiate my lease, I typically negotiate a year rent free for construction, for, you know, to get the business off the ground. Because it's not traditional retail. Like, let's say you open a new supplement shop. Month one, you're going to fucking crush it because you're new to town. You're going to do a big sale. You're going to do a big grand opening. You're going to do great. Well, the gym business doesn't really work like that because we run on memberships, on subscriptions, on an EFT draft. So month one, even if you have a lot of people show up, that doesn't equal to a lot of money because we don't have a product to sell. The product is the gym. Right?
Yeah.
So I burned through my free year. So by the time I opened, I owed $40,000 in rent. Well, I didn't fucking have it. You know, and then so we're making money, but again, it goes back to salesmanship. So I had to go back to the landlord, sell him every month for like literally 2 years on why he shouldn't evict me, why it's a better decision to work with me versus find a new tenant. And so it really goes back to the salesmanship. It's better to be ready for an opportunity that never arrives than have an opportunity arrive and not be ready for it. I prepared my whole life, my entire career for this moment. So when push came to shove and the eviction notice came, guess what? The salesmanship came out and I talked my way out of these fucking evictions, bro. Long story short, I got the landlord to take $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 a month for like legit 2 years, from 2017 till like 2019. And then eventually we were able to pay our full rent because remember, it's not just rent. You know, my rent is 40 grand a month.
Yeah, you got electricity, everything else.
Gas, water, electric, insurance, and then the biggest expense, payroll. So I need 65, 70,000 a month just to be broke. Well, if I pay the landlord out of the 50 grand we make, if I give him 40, I don't have enough for my team. The landlord could survive without me. I can't survive without my team, and they need the money to work. So I sold the landlord on me every month, like, yo, bro, I'm gonna make it. Yo, I'm gonna make it. Yo, I'm gonna make it. And every month he would cut me a break. Long story short, my highest rent roll was $420,000 in back due rent. Over 2 years. And you're probably wondering, damn, how'd you get it there for? Because I was doing my best. Remember, for the landlord, collecting 20 grand is better than collecting zero.
Correct.
And if let's say
And then if you leave, there's no money coming back. He's got to sue
money
you.
coming
There's so
back,
much. Yeah, it's just a fucking
it's going
waste.
to sit on the market for a year. Then you're going to pay a broker. Then you got to turn it into a vanilla box, and it's going to cost the landlord more money than
Yep.
trying to work it out with you. The landlord never wants to evict you. That's the last thing that they want to do. Especially, but if the biggest thing is you have to communicate, you have to tell them the full story and nothing but the story. You can't sit here and pretend like you're going to pay them full rent next month when you're not going to.
Yeah.
So I tell paint that full picture. Well, long story short, bro, we fucking survived. Not only did we survive, we thrived because remember, I'm building a gym that I want to work out in. Every gym around me is a corporate gym, and any mom and pop Joe Schmo, they're not putting money back into the equipment. They're not putting back making the gym better. And I believe in life, either you're rising or you're falling. No one can float. So I was consistently rising. Yeah, my gym wasn't the best yet, but every dollar I made, I dumped it right back in. Every dollar I made, I dumped it back in. So, 2019, I renegotiate my lease. The landlord now puts the building up for, you'll love this story. So the landlord puts this building up for sale. Because remember, he's in the business of buying empty properties, finding tenants, building them up, creating a great rent roll, and then putting it on the market. Long story short, he puts it on the market for like $7 million or $6.5 million. Well, I did my research, I did my homework, and I know how real estate is valued. Commercial real estate is completely different than residential real estate. Residential real estate goes by comps. If you have a 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, cul-de-sac, you go same neighborhood, you look for the same finishes, that's your comp.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
your comparable home, the price goes up for that. Well, commercial real estate doesn't work like that. Commercial real estate goes by cap rate. Cap rate is your net income on that property, right?
Okay.
So I went to the landlord. I was like, look, I need you to forgive this debt. He's like, well, why would I do that? I'm like, because I'm going to get you $1.5 million more. He's like, well, how do you figure? I was like, look, it's for sale for this much right now. Increase my rent by $5,000 a month. $5,000 amortized over 20 years is equivalent to like $1 million. Okay. So you're going to forgive this debt. It's going to look better on your books. I'm going to be debt free. I'm going to be paying it off over the next 20 years, but it's going to look better for the guy buying the fucking building. Okay. Long story short, when he buys the building, he's now netting an extra $60,000 a year. I just increased the value of the building by $1.5 million.
Yep.
So I got him to forgive my debt. We got a new landlord, and he got the building sold. And then COVID happens.
Here we go. Yep.
So it's a series of hurricanes. So, calm seas don't make a great sailor, right? So, calm seas also don't make a great entrepreneur. So, like, the greater hardships that you face in life, I believe they don't break you. They actually make you. It all depends on how you, position yourself against the hardships. It's all about your perspective. See, once you change the way you look at things, the things you look at will begin to change. Yeah. You're going to start to see opportunities where other people see obstacles, but it's all about your perspective. So I get out of this first hurricane. Here comes another one, the Rona, right? So we get shut down, and I'm sitting there for like literally 4 months, going insane, working out twice a day, 3 times a day, sleeping at the gym, and I was like, you know what? While everyone else plays defense, I'm going to play offense. When my gym opens up, I'm going to be better than everyone else. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to take this time. I'm going to make the facility better. I had some money saved up. So I started manufacturing equipment for myself about 5 years ago, just because it was out of necessity. I couldn't afford new shit. Like if I wanted one squat rack, it's $5 fucking grand.
Right.
And I wanted leg press, it's $6,000. So like I studied these origin stories of Nike. So the founder of Nike, Phil Knight, actually flew to Japan right after the World War II and founded Nike. He literally started looking for factories in China, not in China, in Japan, to manufacture sneakers. And we know how big Nike is today. But that company was started literally almost 60, 70 years ago. And he did it with none of the technology we have today. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to manufacture my own equipment, because a typical build out for a gym is about $100 a foot. Okay, that's for your construction and equipment. 30,000 square foot facility is going to cost you $3 million. I said, well, even if I can cut the cost down by half, I can save $1.5 million.
Yeah.
And then I also looked at the entire industry as a whole. Gym equipment, there's there there's a big gap in the industry. What I mean by that is your stuff is either really rinky dink, right? You have your stuff like from Dick's Sporting Goods, Costco,
Mm-hmm.
Modell's, and then you have Hammer Strength, you have Arsenal, you have all these great companies.
Mm-hmm.
No, there's a big gap in the market. Like if you want to buy equipment for your home, you're a big dude. You want to build a badass home gym. You're not going to want to spend 50 grand for your garage gym.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to buy lightly used, refurbished, used gym equipment and put it in your home. Well, there's tens of thousands of people like you out there. And it's a big part of the market the fitness equipment company ignores. And we saw over the last 5 years, Peloton take off like a fucking rocket ship.
Yes.
25, $30 billion is worth more than every gym equipment company on earth combined, right? All they sell is one fucking product, the Peloton. John Foley, he actually started Peloton here in New Jersey in the Short Hills Mall. I know his origin story too. So I was like, damn, John fucking just proved that motherfuckers will pay $2,000 for a really good bike. I said, all right, well, what if I made really good quality equipment, commercial grade for commercial gyms, but where it's affordable enough for someone to want to buy it and put it in their home. So then I started doing my work. So I did the groundwork in 2018, 2019. 2020 was the perfect storm. When that shit hit, I was like, now's a better time than any to try to launch the equipment. Let me start with making shit for myself.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm going to do a test run for my gym. Now, mind you, I had to revisit China like 50 times, visited hundreds of factories, perfected most of my designs.
Oh, so you already took the trips down there?
Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
Like I said, it's better to be prepared for an opportunity that never arises than have an opportunity arise and not be ready for it. I didn't have the money when I flew to China to fucking make this equipment. But I knew that once I did, I wanted to just push a button and fucking launch that business. I didn't want to, let's say I have $1 million at my disposal. Well, what the fuck do I do with it? You don't want to start at ground zero. You want to have the plan ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
So when it's time to execute, you just push a button. The money is the easiest problem to solve. Actually building the business, creating the systems, creating the supply chain, that's the hard part. So COVID hits, call my factories. Hey, look, I want X, Y, and Z pieces. I order all the pieces. The fucking equipment gets here in July. We need to make space in the gym for the equipment. I'm working out, bro. I'm working out. I was like, Facebook Marketplace, that seems cool. I'm like, let's see what this place is about. So I walk around the gym. I take a photo of the bunch of the equipment that I'm ready to set, that I need to get rid of. I post it, bro. I'm working out, and my phone was like, ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, bro, because everybody was trying to get equipment at that time.
I didn't know.
Yep.
So long story short, I made 50 fucking grand in 50 fucking minutes. Everything I listed sold on my phone before the workout was over. I said, hold the fuck up. Wait a minute. There might be something here. So I talked to my boy John. He actually works for Relentless now. I was like, yo, we can really do some shit here. He said, what do you mean? I'm like, look, well, I'm making these dumbbells for $1,500. Okay. The cheapest dumbbells is from Rogue is $8,000, $9,000. From Hammer Strength, $10,000, and everyone's sold out. I'm like, bro, even if I make it for $1,500, bring it in. If I spend $15,000, bring in a container. If I sell it even at, let's say, $5,000, I'm gonna make fucking $35,000 in profit.
Yeah.
I was like, even if I market it, because my goal is not to go head to head with people. Is because I'm the new kid to the block. I'm gonna undercut it.
Yeah.
And make it so like it's a no brainer. Like it's the same shit, but I'm 2/3 the price, or I'm 50% cheaper. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do it. So we buy 10 full sets, 5 to 100. This shit gets here in a weekend. Make 40 fucking grand. I'm like, holy shit. Then I tell my girlfriend about it. I'm like, yo, babe, we're fucking doing this thing. I think it's gonna take off. So I didn't even ask her. That's why it's very important to have like the right people in your life, the right women in your life. I believe they're the foundation of what you're trying to build. She goes to the bank. She gets me a check for $50,000. I tell my friends, one of my boys, he brings me $75,000. Another boy brings me 10,000. Other ones bring me 20. I have 200 saved. We put fucking $400,000 into inventory. Bring this shit here. And you're probably wondering, well, Tony, where'd you store all this shit? Bro, in the fucking parking lot. So I literally, again, you don't need to be fancy. I was like, well, what if I put in storage containers, storage facilities? I was like, well, I don't want to be going back and forth, multiple times throughout the day. I have a business to run. I was like, and it's not a lot of space. A 10 by 10, a 10 by 20 is nothing.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get a shipping, because I seen shipping containers on like construction job sites. I'm like, well, maybe I could rent a shipping container. So I call them up, dude. It's $120 for a fucking 40-foot shipping container, bro.
Oh my God.
You can fit literally 50,000 pounds worth of dumbbells in a container. So we order like 4 shipping containers. I shut down my aerobic studio. I get dumbbells. I load up the fucking aerobic studio in it. I load up my office in it. I put weights in my fucking garage, and we're fucking killing it. Like we're probably pumping out $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 a month, in sales. Literally just on Facebook, no ad, nothing. Wow. And so then I was like, all right, I'm gonna really take this. I'm gonna really grab this bull by the horn, and I'm gonna, turn it into a real business. So then I rented a warehouse, a 40,000 square foot warehouse. But when I got that space, I was scared as shit. Because remember, I just got out of this fucking hurricane.
And you go, yeah, you're like, shit, am I going back into another one?
Into another one. But one thing that I really know well how to do is run gyms. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna run this 40,000 square foot warehouse. Half of it's gonna be a gym, and the other half is gonna be the warehouse. So even if the warehouse can't make the money, well, guess what? The gym's got it.
Yeah.
The warehouse is sitting here for free. Well, we're going through zoning, we're going through permitting, going through all this process. Long story short, by the time I get my permits and we can build, 6 months in, I'm making 10x my rent just on the equipment. So I was like, all right, I guess we're not going to build a gym here.
Don't need to.
Right? Now I have my proof of concept. And so ever since then, so my equipment company is called Relentless Strength. So we make really good commercial quality gym equipment, but it's cheap enough where you can buy it for your home.
Yep.
And so we're going after a big gap in the market, but also we're doing full gym build out. So like I know all the headaches that goes along with building a gym. I've built so many gyms in my career. I know what to do, what not to do, how to negotiate leases, what kind of free rent you need. So like whenever we get a new client and a customer, we don't just sell them gym equipment. I kind of help them through the entire process. Here's what you're going to need. Here's the type of space you're going to need. Here's how much cash you're going to need. Here's what you need to tell the landlord. Here's a template of the letter of intent you need to send to the landlord. A lot of times right now we're small enough where I'll actually meet with the listing broker and help negotiate their lease, and I try to be for others what I wish I had myself, because, in the very beginning, I was kind of navigating in the dark. And most gym equipment companies, they just want you to buy equipment. All right, thank you for your order. See you later. Yep. Me, I'm trying to build a relationship. Because if you make a sale, you're in retail. If you make a sale, you're going to make a commission, you're going to make a profit. But if you make a friend, you'll make a fortune.
Yeah.
My goal is to build friendships and relationships. So for the last 2 years, we actually operated without a website. And the reason being is methodical idea behind it. Our entire equipment catalog is on just a PDF. I believe that it's going to prevent me, it kind of makes it idiot proof for me. I believe that if we're good enough, we will take off. If we're good enough, we'll get more business. And over the last 2 years, we've done millions of dollars in sales. And it's because one friend refers another friend, one gym owner.
Yeah. Yep, the referrals.
We just try to do our part, and we do full gym build out. So we don't just sell them the equipment. We manufacture the rubber flooring. We do the lighting, the front desk, even the marble. I visited marble quarries and factories in China and India, and we import everything. So we're a one-stop shop for a gym. So we save gym owners anywhere from 20 to 40% on their full build out. 20 to 40% is massive, especially when your build out is $2 million and I save you 20%. I just saved you $400,000. That's $400,000 you can keep in your account and for your war chest. So if and when things get tough, and you already know in business, success is never final and failure is never fatal. It's your courage to continue. It's the only thing that matters. This extra money will give you the courage to continue to fight, because it's an uphill battle being a small business owner. So that's the story of Relentless. And then so the cash flow that the Relentless made, we dumped it right back into the gym. So over the last, I say, 6 months, we've dumped millions of dollars into our facility, and you've seen the outside gym, the inside facility. We spent $1 million just on the outside gym. My goal is not a business that only makes money is a very poor business. And my goal wasn't just to make money, it's to make a difference and an impact on my community. Like, we have to eat in order to live, right, bro?
Right.
But we
Correct.
don't live just to eat. A business
Correct.
needs to make money, but the sole purpose shouldn't be to make money. And I believe if you build a business with passion and you build a business with purpose, no one can fuck with you. No one
Yes.
can.
Yeah. Because if your sole purpose is profit, the decisions you make will be strictly around that, and the person would chase the instant profit versus if the profit's second and the experience, the bringing the community, all these things. If the consumer is the main person you want to make a difference with, the profit will come down the line and it will be sustaining for a very long time versus just a quick hit. And now you got to figure out how to get another quick hit and another quick hit. So yeah, I know exactly what you're saying, man.
And you'll see a lot of gyms, a lot of businesses, they run sales. They like run a lot of sales, 30% off, 50% off, 40% off. My gym, there's no sales. We used to do the sales thing. We used to be the cheapest gym in the neighborhood. No one fucking joined. People buy what they want, not what they need. People need to be healthy. They don't give a fuck. They buy what
Yeah.
they want.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna build a place where people want to go, not a place that people feel like they need to go, but a place that they feel like they have to go. They want to be there.
Yep.
So we have a lounge at my gym. It's got 3 fire pits, 3 fireplaces. We host a lot of events there. And we have a 50,000 square foot outdoor gym. We have 2 full basketball courts. We have a lounge. We have pool tables. We have ninja courts. Like, when we built that outdoor facility, no one has an outdoor facility anywhere near us, anywhere in the country, but especially on the East Coast, it's not logical to build an outdoor gym because you can only use this shit like 6 months out of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, our outdoor gym is closed until April. But if when you do something with a purpose and passion, the logic doesn't need to make sense. It'll just make sense. You
Yeah.
see what I'm saying? And so when I built it because I was trying to build a community, not because it made financial sense. And bro, put us on the fucking map. They
Yes, it
literally
is.
doubled our memberships.
Yes,
My
it is.
gym went from $30 a month to $50 a month. Now we're $70 a month. And we charge a premium is because we put so much into we pay our trainers good, not our trainers, we pay our front desk good. We have 2 full-time janitors. The gym is open 24/7, 7 days a week. We only close like 3 national holidays out of the year. We try to innovate and make amazing equipment and consistently upgrade the facility. So it's very hard to do that and be the cheapest gym as well.
Correct.
But here's the thing: people, they don't want the cheapest thing; they want the best.
Yes.
Anyone can afford $50. I mean, if you logically think about it, it's $10 a week, $12 a week. Even at $70, it's $20 a week. Anyone can really afford that. I mean, a fucking burrito from Chipotle, if you get the right toppings, is $18, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So my goal is to build an amazing product where people, they want to pay, and they'll pay and they'll come because they want the best experience possible. Like, the best brands, they don't run sales; they're just the best, and
Correct.
people come and join. And so, I mean, just literally straight on like word of mouth, bro. We built an incredible community. You saw it over the summer, the events we hosted, and then even on Sundays, we've hosted pretty much from July until now. Every Sunday, we had an open house. It was open to the community to come enjoy the facility. You didn't need a membership.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's yeah, bro. You hit everything on the point, man. Like, but listen, everything was you learning or yourself learning, but the biggest key is you don't give up and you're hungry.
Yep.
You don't give up and you're hungry. It's back and forth. It's back and forth. And bro, hats up to you, man. That shit impressive. Extremely impressive, man. And listen, man, when's Fearless Hills opening up?
We're hoping to open in the next 2 weeks. It's been my biggest project. It's been under construction for a year. Um, and our location there, man, it's an incredible facility. It's an incredible site. And we pay less rent there than we pay for our facility that's half the size. And because I was willing to take a risk when nobody else was. I know things are a little tough right now. The economy is fucking crazy. We're heading into a recession. Things are tough. But you'll make the most amount of money when you see opportunities where everyone else see obstacles.
I've
When I
I've I've come to realize that because you mentioned earlier, people will fucking spend money
regardless.
as long as they can feel like they're part of something or feel relevant on what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? Um, you said it, bro. People don't spend money on what they should. People spend money on the things they feel they need to spend money on to be relevant. So, in other words, what that means is the person may not have that much money, but if the area, let's say your gym, is the hottest fucking thing in town, it's
Want to be a
states,
part.
they're gonna want to be a part of it because if they're not gonna be part of that clique, the community, what's going on. So they'll sacrifice that money even though they may not have it. And it's not saying anything bad against them in any sort of way. It's just the way it is. You know what I mean? So you said it yourself, like just because there's a recession doesn't mean nothing you can't blow up. So then they like when fucking Rona hit, you know, it's like, bro, I didn't have any customers coming through. So I just went out and started fucking doing as much as I can, marketing, getting my name out there, helping, fucking dropping off free stuff to hospitals, police stations, everything. So that way people remember me, right? Remember what I was trying to do to help. So when the things open up, they know where to go. You know what I mean? So yeah, dude, I can't, bro. It's gonna be nice, man. It's gonna be nice. Where is it at? Where is it at exactly in Fairless? 'Cause I used to live in Fairless a long
Right
time ago.
after the mall, it's on Lincoln Highway. So it's
Oh
yeah. So if you're driving away from 95 past the mall, mall's on your left.
yes.
You maybe like another like half miles to your left. It used to be the old Mealy's Furniture.
Okay, yeah. Dude, that's easy access, everything, bro. Easy
That gym
access.
is going to be one of the biggest in the country. Like there's other gyms that are 100,000 square feet, but they're not 100,000 square feet. Like you go to
The shit's
Lifestyle,
wasted. Yeah, it's wasted on fucking nonsense.
this gym footprint's like 20,000. No, my gym is 70,000 square feet, all of
Yeah,
it. And then
yeah.
we're also building outside. So we just got zoning approval. So we're building another beautiful outdoor gym. There's going to be 3 full courts outside, outdoor lounge, outdoor gym. So when it's all said and done, the gym is going to be about 170 to 200,000 square feet, but it's all gym. And it's a place that you'll want to go, not a place you feel like you have to go. The gym's got a barbershop. It's got a blow dry bar. A lot of people ask me, why a barbershop? Well, there's no greater feeling than when you get out of that fucking chair. You know what I mean? Just like there's
Yeah.
no greater feeling than when you walk out of the gym with a pump. So, a barbershop is also a community, right? Like growing
Yeah,
up,
it
you
is.
go to
Yeah,
the
it is.
part of the community. So
Yep.
we're building our own community here within the people that come to this community. And so the barbershop is open to the public. And then we have our own restaurant. It's called Fusion Fresh. Um, Again, I'm looking to solve problems. This is the biggest obstacle we have, even as people that are advanced into fitness, intermediate, beginners, intermediate, and advanced, all have the same problems: nutrition, meal prep, knowing what to eat, how to eat, and when to eat, and also having the ability to do it. My
Yep.
goal is to educate, empower, and equip our members to be able to change their life. So one, we're going to give them education on how to eat properly. So we're going to have nutritionists do meal prep classes, teach you how to eat. And then we're going to have our chefs we have in our test kitchen teach you how to actually make the food, right? And last but not least, we're going to equip them with the services to be to change your life. So let's say you don't want to meal prep, you don't want to do the hard work, you want to just come pick up the meal. Fusion Fresh is just like Chipotle, but it's flavors from all over the world. So you can go there every single day and not eat the same thing twice. And then there's two versions of it. So there's the sit down and take out, but then there's also meal prep version. So like you'll be able to go there
Yeah, grab and go.
a la carte, the type of steak you like, the type of chicken you like, the type of veggies you like, the type of carbs you like, take it home there, pretty much build your own meal kits. So you buy 3 days worth of chicken, 3 days
Yeah.
worth of steak. It's all pre-prepped,
Genius,
fresh made
bro.
that day. Huh?
Bro, genius. Genius.
Right?
Fucking
Again,
genius.
we're just thinking with the customer in mind. And like what's
Genius.
good, even if they didn't track their macros, right? Let's say someone 240 pounds, 300 pounds, 180 pounds wants to lose weight. If they just cut out the junk and they just ate clean food, fuck counting the macros. If they just ate healthy, fresh made meals, they would lose weight. Would you agree?
Yes, I would. Digestion and a real food makes people lose weight right away.
No matter what, right?
Uh-huh.
So I said, look, all I got to do is make healthy food accessible. You know what I mean? Is it going to be the cheapest? No, but I'm going to buy you time and I'm going to buy you
Yep.
years of your life back.
Yep.
So, I mean, bro, even fast food's still not cheap, dude. They go to fucking Chick-fil-A, a meal's $10. You go to
I know.
fucking Chipotle's 18, 20
Bro,
bucks.
Five Guys 20, man. Five Guys
For
fucking
Chips, man,
20.
$24 for a drink, some fries, and a good burger, right?
Yeah, man.
I feel like people will spend the money if the options available for them. And then we also have our own retail shop. But then another part of it is there's no cool, like growing up, I watched Rocky, you know, one, two, three, four, five. I've always wanted a boxing gym in my neighborhood, and there was never one. So I was like,
Yeah.
you know what, I'm gonna build it. So in the gym, there's a 10,000 square foot boxing gym. It's called Fusion Fight Club. There's a full MMA ring in there. There's sturdy boxing bags, MMA bags, and then there's a full regulation size boxing ring. So that area is just open for anyone to use, trainers to come use, the community to come use. We're gonna have 4 full courts. So we have one indoor court, it's a full court, and then we have 3 full courts outside. And then our businesses are big on Instagram through like social media. So
Yep.
content creators room. So there's 2 memberships, 169. It gives you access to essentially everything in the facility. And then there's an Onyx membership. It's 99 bucks. We're gonna actually drop it sometime this week. That'll give you guest passes. That means every time you come, you can bring a buddy to work out with you for free. You get access to the content room. The content room will have 40 iMacs. The iMac will have Final Cut Pro. It'll have Photoshop. It'll have all the knickknacks you need to create your own content. You can shoot in the gym, go right into the content room, use our shit for free.
Fucking genius, bro.
Okay. And again, if you help enough people get what they want in life, you're gonna get what you want. Everyone in their 20s and 30s want to be Instagram and TikTok famous.
Yes.
Not everyone has a $4,000 iMac with the software and all the music and the things. We're gonna provide it to you for free. You can come here, shoot it, and it's our marketing machine because where are you shooting it? Are you shooting in Fusion? Even none of the equipment says Fusion, it all says Relentless, right? Because we're trying to build that brand.
Mm-hmm.
Your friends are gonna ask you, yo, what fucking gym is that? People are gonna
Yes.
ask you. The ones that are interested are gonna ask you. So we're giving people that tool to be able to build up their social and their personal brand. We're gonna have content creators come in, teach them how to build their brands. And we're gonna have filmmakers come in, teach them the best lighting, the best angles, how to edit the videos. Then we have another room, studio. It's about 3,000 square feet. It's called the Fusion Verse. I don't know how big you're into gaming, but gaming is huge right now. So we're gonna have. I want to see if I have a photo of it. We got these badass gaming chairs, and you'll be able to come in, and you'll be able to game in the facility. And you're probably wondering, well, what's that got to do with fitness? It has nothing to do with fitness. It has
But that's what
everything.
people want to be there. The whole listen, I get exactly what you're doing. The whole point is to just get people
These
to
fucking gaming chairs.
Jesus fucking Christ, man. The
So
whole point is to just get people that want to hang out in there and be in a gym.
we're gonna have 40 of these.
40.
Yeah.
Wow.
Super fast computers, so you can sit there and you fucking game your ass off. The goal is to indoctrinate the younger generation into the gym, into a healthy environment. Like let's say you're gonna bring your kid, you drop them off, they play fucking video games, and guess what? They might hit the boxing bags on the way out. They might play some basketball. They might go swimming in the pool. They might go lift some weights. It's a part of their community. It's part of what they're growing up with. It's a hub of the community. And then from there, we also have the recovery lounge. We're gonna have the hyperized leg sleeves, arm sleeves. You can go in there and just recover. All that will be a part of the Onyx membership. So the guest pass, the content creators room, the Fusion Verse, and the Relentless Recovery Lounge. That'd be 99 bucks. Gives you access to all of that.
Yep.
And then towards the summer, we're gonna build a Vegas style pool, bro. Fucking, it's gonna be crazy, right? So,
Bro, what the fuck?
Yeah. So that we're gonna build out in the spring, and we're gonna open hopefully in the summer. That will be with the Phoenix membership. It's extra 50 bucks. It's 149, but that will give you access to the pool, and everything else in the facility and childcare. So like if you have a kid, you can drop your kid off and go work out, do your thing. But it's to be a part. We want to be a fabric of the community. We don't want to just be a gym. We want to have an impact on our community. And I believe this is the next generation of the gyms. I'm creating a new era of fitness. It's where it's not about just lifting the weights. It's about being a part of your daily life and ritual.
Yeah, you're gonna put a lot of people out of business. So, once you're done with Fearless, you're going what? South Philly?
South Philly, yeah, we already have a lease signed. It's in Oregon Avenue. We haven't started construction on it because it just requires so much of my mental. The CEO of all these companies, of Relentless Strength, of Fusion Fresh, of the barbershops, and of all of the gyms. I manage them all right now, and I'm also the GC, so I GC my entire construction site. So I have my own construction team. It's called Fusion Construction, and pretty much the electricians work for me, the plumbers work for me, the tile guys work for me. Um, and so we're building out all of our own facilities. So it takes a tremendous amount of time, which is why we haven't started. But the lease is signed. As soon as my Fairless Hills location open, we're going to put all of our focus and build out the South Philly location.
Yep. And then where you going from there? Because I
Right.
know
So
you already got places picked out, man.
yeah, no, we have places picked out, leases negotiated, LOI signed. You know, our next location, can't tell you where, but we'll be in South Jersey.
Okay.
We're building one out in South Jersey, probably in the fall 2023.
Okay.
Hope to open, sometime in 2024. But my main focus is not to choke on greatness again. It's just to be great.
That's great, man. That's fucking great. Are you strategically because I mean you can only plop so many without before you start eating into the
So
other
like, yeah,
gyms.
you'll have visitors from other area, but like you have your core customers. People like, let's say people come to Grant to check it out on the weekend, but they don't go there every week. Like
Right.
we're pulling members from our specific area, and I'm not looking for new members. Like when Planet opens up, they want the couch potato. They want someone that hasn't worked out, that doesn't work out, that just wants to give it a try. I'm going after guys like you. I'm going after guys like me. I'm
Yeah.
going after personal trainers. I'm going after people that love to work out. So every gym, there's 15% to 10% of the people actually use the facility. The rest are key tag holders. I'm going after
Yes.
the
Yes. Yes.
10%.
Yes.
One, because they're willing to pay more for a better experience and a better product. Two, they're not their credit cards aren't going to get declined on the first of the month. We're expecting to bill them to pay your bills. Three, they're going to spend more money. They're going to spend money in the restaurant. They're going to buy food because when you work out hard, you need the proper macros. You're watching
Yeah.
what you eat. I watch your regimens, what you do in the morning, how many supplements you take. I see what you take at night, right? I see what your day is like. I see how you meal prep. Well, anyone else that's really into fitness is also doing that, right? So that's the customer that I want, someone that truly cares about their health and fitness, that their health is the greatest asset that they'll ever have in life. Those 15%, if like the one location that I'm opening, I don't need 5,000 members to make millions of dollars in profits. I don't need 15, 20,000 members because remember, I have a specific price point. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? $69, $99. So my average is, let's say, $80 a month. Bro, if I sign up literally 5,000 members, I'm making money hand over fist.
Yeah.
So I don't need a massive amount of members to make money. I don't need people traveling from 50 miles away.
Yeah.
I only need 5,000 members in my immediate area.
Yeah. And it's
Millions of
easy.
people.
And Fairless Hills is fucking easy because it's
Yeah,
extremely populated.
yeah.
Extremely populated.
South Philly and Shores, Northeast.
Yep.
The goal is we're not, and a lot of people say, "Oh, Tone, you should build one in Miami, one in Cali." I want to build a community where I'm at.
Yeah, bro. Because like you're talking different states and
Same with the
shit. Then
stores
you.
are, bro. Like your brand is known, right? So like
Yeah.
I'm gonna build my stores in areas where people are gonna know us. Like, damn, I wish they had one in my neighborhood. Boom, now we do.
Yes.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? All of our
Yeah.
gyms are literally 20 minutes apart, specifically for that very reason. So Grand Avenue is 20 minutes from Fairless Hills. Grand Avenue is 20 minutes from our South Philly location. Our South Jersey location will be 20 minutes from Grand and from South Philly. So, and each one's gonna have something unique and special, so you can bounce around and go to different places, meet different people. But we also have a lot of things to bring the communities together. It's not about just a workout. Like you go to my gym, we have beautiful lounge chairs outside, like $5,000 sectionals, outdoor furniture. We have fucking 20 of them,
Yeah.
and we have fire pits, we have pool tables, we have ping pong, we have basketball courts. So you can do a lot of fun shit and meet other people in the facility where
Yeah,
you know
man.
you just know just nod at them like, hey, what's up, bro? Like you see, the regulars in the gym.
Yeah.
But now you have a reason to talk to them. Now you have a reason to chop it up with them. Like let's say you're playing ball with them, where you're gonna get to know them.
Bro, I
So,
can't wait to fucking hit Fairless Hills.
yeah. Hey man, listen, give me the word. I'll give you a tour. Give you a personal tour, show you around before the place gets crazy.
Bro, for real, man. I can't wait to hit it, bro. Trust me. Listen, man. Look. You know me, man. I'm very picky on like when I promote things, right? If I feel if I'm promoting something, especially on the main page, right, on my main store page, um, if I'm promoting something, I feel like it's the right thing for the people, right? It's something that will bring people together, and this is the type of shit that I want to promote. You know what I mean? Because I feel like it's the right thing to bring different communities together around fitness. So, yeah, bro, I'm excited, man. I'm excited for you, bro. This has been a great fucking conversation, by the way. I would listen. I wish I could pay you how much it's worth, but I'm not worth the kind of money you're worth, and you would probably just laugh at me. So we're just gonna say I owe you. All right, I just owe you.
Oh, listen, this is bro. I want to try to give you again. You just need that one piece of information that ignite your flame, and that'll light the fire in you. And that's all I'm looking to do is to be the example of like, look, you can do it too. Like, bro, my family, we came to this country. My dad came to this country when I was 1 year old. He literally lived in America for 5 years, didn't know a single soul, didn't speak the language, literally lived in a 3 bedroom apartment with like no, in a 1 bedroom apartment with 3 roommates saved to bring us to this country. And look what
Yeah,
I've created. Like,
yeah, yeah.
possible for anybody because when I came to this country, we didn't even speak the language. We didn't know a soul. And from the time I was, 5 years old until I was 18, we lived in a 2 bedroom apartment across the street from the projects. Look at me now.
You know what I think. You know what I think it is, man. Because I'm not from here either. I was born in Europe. I came when I was 9. I think the biggest thing is we came from a life where we weren't taught you were expected to have things. We came from a life where if you don't go out and get it and work for it, you won't have anything. You know what I'm saying? So, everything you're doing is like that's your hunger, right? You see the opportunity, so you keep going and going. You're versus, a lot that ends up happening around here is, a lot of people feel like they should be entitled to be given things versus going out and just fucking pushing and getting it on their own and being hungry, man. Um, I think that makes a huge difference, dude. Like for sure.
Yeah. Here's a little tidbit to leave you with. Fun fact. So the apartment that my dad lived in for 5 years with 1 bedroom apartment with 3 roommates, my warehouse is across the street from it.
Wow. I know you look back. I know every day you look back, you look at that, and I'm sure you feel it's a humbling and a
Yeah.
proud moment at the same time, man. Like 100%, bro.
Like come full circle. It's funny because I didn't know that was the apartment. So one day my dad came to visit the warehouse. He brought one of his friends, and he was like, "Tony," he's like, me and your dad used to live in that apartment. I said, "What do you mean?" He's like, "You know how we lived in a 1 bedroom apartment with a few other guys?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "It was that apartment, and the apartment is literally right next door to my warehouse. My warehouse is 20 times bigger than that apartment.
Right.
Everything you for and hope for while he came to this country, you know, I made happen."
Listen, bro, but now you get to give it back to them,
Yeah,
right? That's like the biggest thing to be able to give something back to your parents.
yeah. I give back to my parents. I give back to my community. Funny story, right? So like growing up, poor as shit. Christmas didn't get any gifts. Birthdays didn't really get any gifts. So like when I built my first gym, I went to Walmart. I made 100 grand in profit that first month. I bought every toy they had, and I donated it to Toys for Tots.
Wow.
Every toy they had. And then I still do stuff like that. I don't post about it, but I recently just over the last I'd say 6 months became more active on social media because I'm so busy doing. But I feel like it's our duty and obligations as entrepreneurs that are living their dreams to be able to pass that torch on to the next generation. And the
Correct.
best way to see that it's possible for them is to see that someone has already done it.
Yeah. Yeah. I like it, man. Tony, I just want to thank you for the conversation, man. I'm
My
dead
pleasure.
serious, bro. And for everybody listening, guys, fucking send him a DM and say thank you for the information he gave and literally for what he's building. So I'm excited, bro. Thank you. And listen, bro, we could be in here fucking forever, man. But I just want to say thank you so much
Thank you.
for jumping on, man. Hopefully, I allowed this platform to kind of get your message out even more. Um, and listen, bro, we're gonna talk soon, man. Because I know I'll see you soon up in Fairless Hills for sure.
Seeing you and anyone else listening.
Of course, brother. Thank you, man.
Have a good one.
You too, bro.